In this exercise, we'll learn how to implement a video file inside of our Animate file. I'm just going to start by creating a new file with ActionScript 3. And very simply, we would go to the File pull-down menu to import, to drop in a video file, and actually attach some controls to it as well. Now, one thing it will need is it does need to be formatted appropriately for Animate. If it's not formatted, you do have the option when you go to import to convert your file using the media encoder. And what it would do is would simply launch media encoder with your file, and you would just have to create some, define some of the settings and create a new video, which would ultimately be applied. So let's go through that process now. I'm just going to go up to File, Import, Import Video. We get a dialog box, and basically it will default to on your computer load external video, which is the one that is preferred. You usually don't want to embed it. You can have various issues when you embed a video file into your Animate. So let's leave it on the defaults, and what we need to do is choose the video to apply through the Browse button. You can see it's grayed out right now, but there's a Convert Video button. If for some reason the file we call up needs to be converted, we would click Convert Video, which would ultimately launch the media encoder, and then we could create the new video file and then implement that. So let's start with the Browse button. And it's gone to a folder which you would be downloading, and I'll just choose dentine160.mov and click on the Open button. And as predicted, or as I was saying, it's telling me that this file does not appear to be supported by the Flash player. So I will ultimately convert this video. So I'll click OK to start. And you can see the pathway here, but Convert Video is suddenly active. So I'll click that. And I do need to select the same video again. Click Save. And it launches it into my media encoder. You will see it pop up as the latest in the queue. You can see I had tried this previously, and there is the previous version. But I'm going to create a new one here. And there are basically the three columns here in Encoder. We're not going to have a whole lesson on Encoder right now. But cutting to the chase, in my queue box here, I can set the format. And it does default to the appropriate format, just so you know, which is H.264. So we'll leave that there. The second column is a set of presets. Again, I would leave all of this at their defaults, these two, but it is saying match source. I could resize it, reformat it, and so on through that column, but I'm going to leave it as is. And then this third one, output file, this is really important because this determines where the file gets saved. So if I click on here, I can establish a folder. I will leave it in the default folder that it came from, because this is where my Dentine file or my file from Animate exists, and it's the best place to put it, in the same folder as your Adobe Animate file. So I had one already created, so it had appended it with an _1, which is fine. We'll leave that. And I simply have to click Save to establish the pathway to where it will get saved. Once my settings are completed, I just have to hit the little Go button here. It's called Start Queue. And when I click that, you will see it processed down here in the encoding window. So let's try that now. And as predicted, it's processing. It's a tiny little file, so it went quite fast. We should be done actually with Media Encoder now. So let's go back to Adobe Animate. I'll just click OK on this, and I'll re-choose the Browse button. And there's the file I just created. It's properly formatted now, so it should be accepted when I click Open. And it did. I didn't get a warning. So at this point, I'm free to click Next to establish some controls underneath. And there we are. Now these controls are called skinning, and there are a bunch of them that are built in. And you can affect the color over here, but I'm just going to leave them at their default gray and just show you that there is a long list, which is basically various combinations of the controls. So let me just see here. Skin, basically the ones called Overall will appear above the video, looking like they're inside of the video, and the ones called Under appear below it. So I will choose one of the under ones, I guess. And I do have one, the default says Skin Under All. I'm going to use that one because it has all of the potential controls included. You can see here different combinations as I was describing. So Skin Under All it is, and I just click Next. And really I just have to click Finish here. It's pretty simple. it processes it, and then it makes the video appear with the skin. Now this video is very small, so it looks a little awkward here, but functionally these are the controls and this is the video. So I can resize that, and I'll just do that just so it looks a little better. To my free transform tool, and I'm holding the shift key down to constrain it, but I'll just size it basically to fit the control bar, otherwise known as the skinning. And again, I can just position that, and I will save the file. And let's just do a test movie. And there it is, and it's playing back, and as you can see, we have our various controls. I can change the volume, I can advance the playhead, I can mute the sound, I can do full screen, but the full screen actually won't work unless you actually put this on a web page and try it there. I believe this will not expand, and I'm actually correct in that assumption. So if I hit play, alright, and there you have it. That's the lowdown, the simple story on how to take an existing video, a video file that is, and implement it into Adobe Animate. And I'd like you to try one of these today.